I know times are tough out there. Inflation is on the rise, prices are skyrocketing everywhere, and food is a big part of it. I think you remarked just the other day how you picked up like a few things and the bill was like over $100.
Yeah.
Can you relate to that? We want to be more self-sufficient with our food out here, growing and raising as much as we can, but we're clearly not there yet. So we've developed ways in which we can kind of extend our dollar and try and make the most out of the money we are spending out at the grocery store. And one of those ways is to make our own beef bone broth. Now, I'll tell you, if you're going to go to the grocery store, the prices of meat has definitely risen. If you're looking to buy steak during this time, I mean, forget it. That will break the bank. But meat is very nutrient dense. You don't need as much of it to feel fuller and to keep you energized for longer. But it is crazy expensive. So what we decided to do is kind of go around looking for soup bones. If you could go into the butcher shop and look for those cheaper cuts of meat, or what they call soup bones, you can find some really good deals. I found packages of meat for, I'd say, around $3 a pound. Way cheaper than like your cuts of steak. They call them soup bones, but really there's still quite a bit of meat left on there. So I'll often go into the butcher shop, the local butcher shop. I'll even avoid the big box stores because I think sometimes you can find just a little bit more of your unconventional items.
Yeah, more variety. When you're making bone broth, it doesn't actually have to be just bones. You can use other inedible parts of the animal, things that sometimes just get thrown away, like hooves, knuckles, tails, beaks, what else, fins, just all these inedible parts of animals, the bones, connective tissues, and other things that they actually can have a lot of nutrients in them, but we just can't eat them regularly. And this is a way that you can get those nutrients. And these are the parts that you can either find cheaply or sometimes free.
Yeah, like if you're raising your own animals, you might be able to use those, or maybe a butcher, when they're processing these animals, you can maybe pick them up for free or for a very low price. So I like making the bone broth because for me it's really easy to do. It takes a quick roasting, then you throw it in a pot, add your stuff in, add some water, set it, and forget it. And the reason why I got into making bone broth is because, we did go on kind of a more low-carb diet, and bone broth can be such a easy, nutrient-dense meal to add into your diet. For me, I like to do a little bit of fasting as well, and bone broth is a nice meal to add into there, especially when you're coming off of that fast. It's a great way to start introducing some of those calories without overtaxing your digestive system.
For us, making our own bone broth is a way that we're investing in our health. And so hopefully that will pay off in the long run and save us money on, healthcare costs and things if we keep our bodies healthy. It's a great way to just make your dollars go further and kind of stretch things out. If you're already eating meals that have bones in them, instead of throwing those bones away, you can use it to make another meal. And for us, we are already composting any organic waste we have out here. Making the bone broth starts breaking down those bones and things, and that's kind of nice for us because it makes the composting process easier, and we can take those whatever's left over from our bone broth that we can actually eat and compost that, and we can extract further value from that we can use later on.
Everything gets used, everything just goes back into that natural cycle, and then helps feed the soil. And then
and in the future we're going to be using that compost to grow more food. Now, you can buy bone broth at most grocery stores.
You can.
Yeah. And this stuff was just like $2.50, I think.
$2.50. It's not a whole lot of money, but there's almost nothing in it. There's a little bit of sugar, which I don't know why you would need sugar in a bone broth. And maybe a little bit of protein, but mostly just salt. But I'll tell you, this stuff needs the salt, because otherwise it would have no flavor. I've tasted this. I've actually kind of used this and just tried to drink it straight. And you almost can't do this. This is made for like if you're gonna put it in a soup or something, if you're gonna put stuff in it. But like,
so it's perfect for sipping.
It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, it's mainly just salt. But now that the stuff that we made, oh my God, that stuff is delicious. I mean, you could taste it has flavor to it.
And that's another great thing about making your own bone broth is you can add flavor to it. And I don't know, there might be more natural flavor to it as well, but I mean, you can take whatever you have already in the kitchen. If you have extra veggies, some spices. I like putting a lot of different spices in there.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, if you need to, I'm glad it's there. So you can pick it up, not too expensive, but I mean, making your own, it could be even cheaper in the long run. The stuff you make has so many more nutrients in this stuff, and then you can make so many more meals.
I think if we were just going to make bone broth out of what we get from the butcher shop, it would probably cost more than this box. But what you're getting isn't just bones. There's a lot of meat actually attached to that. So we actually get multiple meals from that.
With just one batch of bone broth, we could probably get 12 meals from all the meat that we took off the bones. And then you're talking about the bone broth as well, which adds about another 4 to 5 meals if you count each jar as a meal. So you're probably looking at about 16 meals for $25-30 for 16 meals. I mean, you're looking at what, like about $2 a meal?
And that's just one batch. And we didn't mention you can reuse the bones multiple times. We'll lose more nutrients, each time, but maybe 2 or 3 times.
I mean, you could see by the coloring how much nutrients you're kind of extracting from there. And once it starts to get clearer and clearer, well, then you're losing some of the value in those bones. So I know a lot of you people are probably looking at ways to stretch that dollar, and making your own bone broth is a great way to do that. Much more nutritious than what you can buy in the store. So many possibilities for making extra meals. Get meat at a much cheaper price. It's just win, win, win. All right, y'all, try making some bone broth. If you got any tips that you can share with other people, leave those down in the comments. And that way people can learn from what you do if you're already making bone broth. And if you make your own bone broth from the recipe that we have in there, let us know what you think. We want to know how you enjoyed it. All right, y'all, thanks so much for watching. And we'll catch you on the next video. Bye. Crew, you like bone broth?